Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. In today's video, I will, for now at least, conclude my series of rewriting videos, this time by looking at the uh, first book I ever gave a 2 out of 5 rating to, namely Beckoning of the Gate by Benjamin J. Ryan. As with my other videos within this series, I will go through the issues that I think this book has in order of the level of influence they have over the plot, and then suggest solutions that I think would help strengthen the narrative premise that I think the book was going for. Also, I have to issue a spoiler warning because I'm about to delve a little bit, a little bit into this book, quite a bit actually, and you might want to find them out for yourself rather than finding them out from my end. And if you're somewhat unsure as to whether or not you actually want to read this book, I did make a review of it. I can't really remember on what side it's supposed to pop up. I'm thinking here. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. Anyway, now that I'm done with that, it's time I delve into the actual meat of this video. And the first issue I want to touch upon within this video actually revolves around the companion character Beyond. If you look at the cover, she is that little fox beast that appears, right next to the main character in the foreground. Beyond within the book is supposed to be a surrogate mentor character, so to speak, because even though she has an animalistic appearance, she actually has human level intelligence and a vast array of magical and supernatural knowledge. And as such, she can actually banter with main character Sanfa, as well as give her advice when she has to deal with a wide variety of threats. In spite of that, in spite of her features, when it comes to this, when it comes to her potential impact within this book, she doesn't really bring a lot. She doesn't really bring a lot to the story. I don't really think the characterization that the author is trying to go with her is always consistent. Nor do I think that having her active to the extent that she is really brings a lot to the narrative itself. So for that reason, even though looking at Goodreads, she is one of the features of the story, I will have to adjust her within my rewrite. And my suggestion for her is that instead of being a substitute mentor character, she would instead very much still be a pet slash companion character, as in she would have animalistic levels of intelligence, and both the main character as well as the audience would get to know her as she interacts with the environment around her, and with the various people and situations that she gets brought into. Is she playful? Is she introverted? Is she curious? That kind of thing. Additionally, she would serve as an additional pair of eyes and ears in order to warn Sanfa of any potential dangers. Maybe she even has some way of detecting magical or supernatural threats. That is also something that could be considered for her. And given I already mentioned her, main character Sanfa is next in the rewriting spotlight. Within the book, she really is quite unfocused in terms of her goals, and really she goes through the motions of the book and follows the plot basically because she has to, and even though her motivations change or are said to change, um, that doesn't really reflect upon the journey which she takes, or even the manner within which she tries to attain her goals. So that is something I want to address if she is to if she is to be a noteworthy and interesting main character. And don't get me wrong, my problem isn't that her motivations change. My problem is that her methods don't really change once her motivation change, nor really nor really her goals. She could have different goals with motivation changes, but also those changes in motivation need to be joined or need to be accompanied by a change in how she how she pursues her goal. And given that she holds the most important magical item of this book, she very much has that level of influence over the story, and she should be able to exert it in a meaningful way. So my suggestion for her rewrite is to make her a mixture of Belle from Beauty and the Beast and Frodo, obviously from The Lord of the Rings. And by that I mean that she would be a character who, while content within the small community she grew up in, is still curious about the world outside of her village and subtly yearns to have her own adventure. So to that end, it is important that the first 3 chapters, I'll say, give her one moment where she stares out into the sunset, like Luke Skywalker in A New Hope, so that the audience realizes and understands that this is not just for show. This is not just uh, juvenile eccentricity or hyperactivity. This is more like a calling for her. This is something that she is interested in building her life around, more or less. That would also explain why she is particularly drawn to Lathan, the mentor character of this book. Not just because he is the only teacher available within her village, but also because he is the one who is most willing and capable of talking to her about things that she is interested in. When she finds the magical item I alluded to earlier, this book becomes a be careful what you wish for kind of story, because even though finding this item means that she gets to go on an adventure, she is confronted with a whole slew of various threats and menaces that she could not have anticipated. And now that I've mentioned him, the final point I want to talk about is the teacher and mentor figure Lathan. And to be more precise, I don't just want to talk about Lathan within this part of the video, but also about how I can use him in order to flesh out some aspects of the world building that the author himself maybe wasn't as conscientious with as he should have been. Because within this book, Lathan, even though he is somewhat affable and very obviously knowledgeable, is still viewed somewhat suspiciously by the rest of the community because he knows magic. And beyond that, there isn't really a lot to his character. He really is very much just a Deus ex machina. But instead of appearing when the characters are at their lowest point, when the main character is at her lowest point, he appears right at the beginning and gives her stuff for when she reaches her lowest point, which is not particularly interesting. My suggestion for him instead is that rather than being some guy who has a lot of magical knowledge and who just happened to settle in Sampa's village, he would instead be part of an order of mages who want to want to get the magical item Santa finds, in order for them to carry out, I don't know, some sort of maybe a prophecy, or maybe something else. Maybe they want to use that item for for a specific goal aimed at restoring balance of the universe, or some or some stuff like that. His interest in Sanfa could then be explained by him potentially seeking her out as an apprentice. When, however, Sanfa finds that item, he realizes that his role within her life kind of has to change somewhat, and it is because he knows what that item is supposed to be used for, and realizes that he himself cannot be the one to do it. So instead, he tasks Sanfa to do it. And in order for her to accomplish that task, he gives her equipment, a companion, as well as the name of a contact that Sanfa is supposed to reach. When, after a long and grueling quest, she actually reaches that contact, both her and the audience would then get a sizable and meaningful exposition dump. Something that explores a segment where the nature of the organization is explored, alongside the cosmogony of the world, and what Sanfa's role in the big picture is supposed to be, or what exactly that magical item is supposed to be used for. Whether or not she will actually carry it out, or if she does it in a new manner that no one would have expected, is something that is somewhat beyond the scope of this video, so I'm not going to delve into that. That was all I wanted to present. Some suggestions for how this book could be rewritten. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed my set of suggestions, well then please like the video, maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the book itself or to my rewrite suggestions, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell, or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation and the Path Not Taken, are available at various book retailers under their respective links in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I also suggest you check out should you choose to. Additionally, you have the option of supporting me on Patreon, where depending on the level at which you pledge, you will receive various perks, such as early access to my videos and scripts, both for this channel and my second one, because yes, I also have a second channel, where I talk about whatever it is that interests me, to be honest. Until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been The Heir's Lair.